Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot, and tonight we're going to take a look at the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom trailer. And I know what you're saying, BestInSlot, we already did that. Sorry, that's what you guys sound like. And it's very true, we did do that just the other day. However, China has come out with its own version of the same trailer. And it doesn't sound like a big deal, but this trailer is absolutely full of brand new shots, of brand new scenes, and new plot information. Before I talk any more about it, I should say, we've already been spoiled so much. There are new spoilers in this trailer that we're going to talk about. If you want to see the trailer for yourself, I'll link it down below in the description. You can go check it out. Maybe watch it on mute if you want to avoid spoilers as much as possible, but you're probably better just avoiding it. But if, like me, you've already seen the other trailer, we've already kind of been spoiled the hell out of the film anyway, I figure why not just go in on it. We're going to find out some pretty cool stuff about the links between Indoraptor and Blue. I was wrong in what I said the other day, so it's very interesting, all of this. Anyway, so we're going to get going. I'm just going to focus on stuff that is brand new information. Brand new shots as well. And like this one, we're just going to look at some of the prettier shots in the thing as well. This isn't new information, it's just Mount Sibo, shrouded by mist and fog and cloud, well, shrouded by clouds, I should say, at the back of Isla Nublar. Not quite erupted, but it seems like it's, you know, it's on the build up to erupting. It's just one of these really nice establishing shots we get in the Chinese trailer that we don't get in the Western trailers, which focused more on action. I've got to say, I much preferred the Chinese trailer, even if it did give away even more somehow in terms of plot. Anyways, let's move on. So we get a great little shot there. And we meet this guy again. Now, this guy is obviously very important. This is the guy leading that rival company. We don't know if it's Bjarnason. We don't know if it's just called Lockwood. We don't know what the company's called. But we know their goal is to A, sell the animals off these... Let's try that in English. A, to sell the dinosaurs off Isla Nublar. And B, to build the Indoraptor. Maybe build other weaponized dinosaurs. There's the two goals of this rival company. And this guy's talking to Claire. And this is obviously near the start of the film. This is probably right at the start of the film. He says, the island is dying. The dinosaurs must be preserved. We thought you could help. So these guys actually seek out the DPG to get them to come to the island and assist with the whole process. Now, the chances are they don't actually need the DPG, because what the DPG going to actively do. But what he does need is Claire, because then Claire will get Owen on side. I imagine at this point Owen may have said no, or something like that. He may have already turned them down, but either way, we know they need Blue. We know Blue is the really important thing about this. And I'm sure the DPG, with their knowledge of the island and the dinosaurs, is very helpful as well. And Claire does have a lot of experience of the animals. Moving on, we get another great establishing shot we hadn't seen before. You can start to see Mount Sibo in the background up there. Look at that, it's beautiful. Mount Sibo sitting up there. We've got the Innovation Centre there. We've got the whole... monorail track sort of crumbling into the Mosasaurus lagoon. Just some really nice, beautiful, establishing shots we didn't have before. I believe there's a jeep up here going sort of this way, but I don't know. Moving on, we get a shot of this dude. This dude hasn't really been featured in the trailers before. I think he's the head of the mercenaries, basically. I don't really know who he is or what his role is, but he's wearing some bullets on his chest and he's got glasses and a hat. So you know he's up to no good. It's the telltale signs. There's a lot of similarities. People have been pointing this out to me. There's a lot of similarities between this film and the Lost World Jurassic Park. Quite a lot of them. Actually very, very similar in some ways. Anyways, moving on. We go back to these two. This is Claire being shown around Lockwood. This guy obviously has intimate ties with Lockwood. Whether it's the son of Lockwood, the actual owner of the mansion and stuff, or not, we don't know. But clearly he's very, very involved in that whole process. I suspect James Cromwell's character, as in older Lockwood, doesn't know this is all going on per se. We know he's going to be in the film, but he hasn't really featured in the trailers at all. I suspect maybe he's a little bit ignorant to what's going on. His son has started to maybe take over the company and started to move it in this direction. But hey, that's all speculation. There is one animal that poses a real challenge, is what he's saying to Claire at the time, and Claire says, Blue. So obviously... they can catch all these dinosaurs, but Blue is on her own. She's the last raptor left. She's hard to track. She's very, you know, in an island the size of Isla Nublar, it's going to be very easy for one raptor to evade a group of mercenaries. It's a massive island with lots of places to hide. So this is whole, get Claire onto the island, get Owen onto the island, track down Blue, because they need her, as we'll see. So we get another great shot here. This is Owen looking for Blue, another shot that wasn't in the Western trailers. I just love these. The direction of this film is absolutely gorgeous. No matter what they've done about the plot, no matter anything else, Bayonna's direction is absolutely leaps and bounds above Trevorrow's, if we're honest. Trevorrow has done some fantastic work in the past. Like I've said, Safety Not Guaranteed is one of my favourite films. I just think his approach to Jurassic World was very workmanlike. It was very just basic, you know, there wasn't these there was nothing like this. This is gorgeous. Anyways, moving on. Again, we get another really nice shot. It kind of zooms in over Lockwood Manor. This is the first time we've seen it properly like this. I think we have seen it before in the trailers, but this seemed to be at a different sort of time of day and a different atmosphere. This guy pops up again. He's obviously a very important figure, particularly in the latter half of the film, although he will be there in the first as well, as we've seen. There's a lot of talking going on over this, which is important. I'm going to bring up that quote in a minute, but we get a look at sort of like an incubation sort of chamber. Toby Jones's character is there. He's the auctioneer. Obviously, he's quite involved in the process. We can see at the back here we've got some amber and stuff like that. And then you can see they're making eggs. And there's not just one egg. You'll see there are 3 eggs. Opening some possibilities there, folks. So they are still actively breeding dinosaurs, probably at Lockwood Manor in like an underground lab or something, despite being off Isla Nublar, despite the fact that there's a Dinosaur Protection Act in action, which means you are not allowed to anymore make these dinosaurs in the first place, I believe. Although that was before Jurassic World, but I find it hard to believe this would not be illegal. Anyways, over the top of all of this, it says, Blue's DNA will form the architecture of a completely new creature. Now, I suspected the reason they wanted to capture Blue in the first place was to breed her with the Indoraptor. I didn't think the Indoraptor would come in quick enough that it would be made only in the last half of the film. But what this quote basically tells us is that they successfully capture Blue, they extract her DNA, which obviously they need. It's not only is she the last raptor, but people have always said, oh, but surely they've kept a lot of the DNA and stuff like that, but a lot of that would have been lost in Jurassic World. Dr. Wu grabs what he could, but maybe what he was missing was the raptor DNA, and not just the raptor DNA, but Blue, who proved herself to be the best at being trained. She was a leader, she was an effective fighter and hunter. Blue was the best of the bunch. It makes sense that they'd want her DNA specifically to bring in for creating the Indoraptor. So the Indoraptor is part Blue, which is something lots of people have speculated on, but was not confirmed until this trailer right here. And this is Dr. Wu saying this, I designed this animal myself. So after designing the Indominus Rex and it all going to hell, he sat down and thought, you know what I need to do? I need a second try. I need a second bite at the cherry. I'm going to make another brutal weaponized dinosaur, because it went so freaking well last time. Owen, this is Owen on the right. Owen. And I think Claire's next to him. All the members of the DPG, obviously they've gone in, I suspect, to rescue Blue. Blue's been captured at this point in time, as we saw in the trailer, by this guy on the left, by Lockwood, etc. And obviously Owen and that lot go in to save her, and they get captured as well, and he's saying over the top of it, you never thought about the applications of your research. Now that is obviously concerning the training of the raptors, using them as a weapon. This is very much the theme of the film. And Owen has been doing this in the past, but he never meant it as a weapon, and they've seen what he's been able to do. As Hodgkins, I've butchered that name every single time, and every single time in the comments somebody tells me what it is and I keep forgetting. Hodgkins, we're going to go with Hodgkins. And obviously he saw what was being done to use these dinosaurs as weapons, and that is very much the theme of the second half of the film. Blue's DNA is now going to be used to make a trainable Indoraptor. Whether it works out like that is another kettle of fish, but I suspect this is something, a thread we're going to come back to in the third film. Moving on, we get a really nice shot here. It's an interesting one as well. This is the little submarine as it goes in towards the Mosasaurus tank. Let's go with tank. And it's interesting because this is like, obviously we've got this big sort of open doorway here, which you don't see at any other point in the film. Now, we've done a lot of speculation as to how the Mosasaurus would escape. But if this is this massive gateway you can open to actually get into the paddock in the first place, which maybe is naturally closed, maybe this is how the Mosasaurus gets out in the first place. These guys are going in, they suspect the Mosasaurus is probably dead because it's not been fed for a very long time, other than the Indominus Rex corpse. And when you see images of the Mosasaurus, it kind of looks, you know, the teeth look a little rotten around the lips, there's sort of mold growing and stuff like that. The creature does not look to be in good health. So I think at this point they suspect the Mosasaurus is dead. They've gone back to get the Indominus Rex DNA to integrate it into the Indoraptor along with Blue. That's what the Indoraptor assumedly is. It's Blue plus the Indominus Rex brought together to make the ultimate killing machine that is actually trainable. And this submarine is going inside, so maybe because they don't expect the Mosasaurus, they get taken down by the Mosa, and that's how the Mosa gets out. However, we know some people do at least get out of the situation via the helicopter. We get another look at that scene here. Obviously, this is the guy, he's got something in his hand, so I suspect he's holding DNA collection. Maybe they went back to the lab as well, and maybe they managed to grab the Indominus Rex DNA from the lab, something like that. But he's getting chased by Rexy. You only get a brief second of this in the trailer, but do go watch it. It's a really cool little, very dramatic, beautifully shot scene. He's running away from Rexy. You can see here's the ladder. So he's near the Mosasaurus paddock, he's running away, he's got the stuff, Rexy's chasing him in the rain, jumps onto the ladder, gets away from Rexy, she roars as we've seen in the trailers, he thinks he's safe, and then the Mosasaurus pops up and eats him whole in the other cool shot we've seen. Just awesome little scene there. Near the end now, this is Blue and Owen, they're kind of hanging out together. This shot is actually really interesting to me because if you look at the lighting and the positioning of this, it's very similar to that other shot we get in the trailer. I've not included it because it's been in pretty much every trailer, but when Blue and Owen first meet each other on the island, he extends his hand out, he puts it onto Blue's head, there's kind of light coming from, it's heavily backlit just like this is, and that's when she gets shot. So I suspect this is trying to do the same thing, and that this is them reconnecting for the second time in the film, and this time maybe it's not going to go badly like the first time, it's not going to lead to that betrayal as Blue might have seen it. This is her trusting him again, ready to take on the Indoraptor, the mercenaries, and the second half of the film. You can see here as well, it's hard to see because at the end of the day it's a freeze frame of a moving trailer, but all around here you can see scratches and blood marks and injuries. Now, whether this is because she's been tested on and experimented on prior to being integrated into the Indoraptor DNA, I don't know, but interestingly, the images where Blue gets rescued from Lockwood that we saw in the last trailer, she doesn't have these marks. She's looking fairly clean and healthy. I suspect what this might be is taken sort of from the end of the film. Like maybe this is after Blue takes out the Indoraptor. I don't really know. Maybe it's prior to when she gets... Yeah, I don't really see where else it could be, because we know she gets sort of injected and operated on by the group. But that, again, must be after they've rescued her from Lockwood, right? Or maybe there's a period between Lockwood and the bit on Isla Nublar where they get hold of Blue. Maybe it's like, you know, we've captured you, we've betrayed you, blah, 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 but you care about this dinosaur, go and help her. We want her to survive, you want her to survive, go and do it. So maybe that's what it is, I don't know. But either way, it's interesting that she is very clearly injured, and that's the first time we've seen that in the trailers. And that's about it, folks. Loads of new stuff. Obviously, the biggest information there is really that is confirmation. The Indoraptor is made part blue. Now, I don't think that was necessarily an obscure idea or something like that. It wasn't the one I personally went with. It also raises the question as to what that baby raptor was. Now, the baby raptor is brown in coloration, but we've seen with a lot of creatures that as they grow older, they change in coloration. You know, you can go from brown to black or whatever. Even hair colour, you know, in humans does that quite a lot. People are born with very light hair and it gets darker with age. It happens with a lot of animals in the wild. You see the very light at birth, and then they get darker and darker as they level up as they age up. So maybe that's what that baby small brown raptor is. Maybe that's a baby Indoraptor, because at some point there has to be a baby Indoraptor. It's all very interesting, and it's also very interesting that there's 3 eggs. That's going to be important, I think. That's going to have to come up at some point. Either way, really cool. Check out the Chinese trailer at the link down below. Any questions, thoughts, and theories, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you lovely folks in the next episode. Cheers, much love, as always. Bye-bye. Quick little shout out at the end. This video and all the others would not be possible without the support of you guys at home, and also all my Patreon supporters who are listed up on the page right now for April 2018. Thank you guys for all the help, and if you want to join in and help me out a little bit, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. Thanks for joining me.